See, that's sort of a nickname for us when I listen to it. About time, Carlos. See some more of that. Defense. Oh Lord! It's time to represent. It's time to get tough. It's time to represent. stands there and tries to attempt to shoot. Fuck this sucker, that's why. Don't block him next time, please. You know what I mean. Next 54. Every single turnover we make on that shot chart. Please do. 10 points or so apart from the competitors. I do not like a close game. What that takes? No shot. Oh yeah. Looks like none to me. Guard him. It. going to be in, too. Was not. What was that behind the head thing? Oh, give us a good game. Yeah. So clean. Walking, traveling. Head thing. shot. Come on, just give us one more shot. As in, keep the ball and just shoot one more time. And hold the game up like that. And can't we do that? Blocking. That is not fair. Get across the line. Be assertive. Assert yourself. One shot, 1 minute. Come on, one shot, 1 minute. fast forwarded over that. That still doesn't make sense. Make it, make it, make it. Make one. It's a three-shooting team anyway, but make one. Your heartbeat.
Running back's uniform.
Very proud of him.
There was nothing lavish about the facilities at Lincoln High, but there was a wealth of spirit and pride in the student body.
It was a school in a socially, economically deprived community. There was one white student there when I was at school there. One white student. He was the photographer. And I always made sure that he was, you know, I said, anybody bothers you, come and see me.
But then, of course, there's always, you know, the old thing that Malcolm used to talk about, putting a little cream in the coffee. We've tried to integrate, but it's always been one way. They've taken my players, and that's another reason I got out of coaching. I got tired of getting beat by my own kids. I see my kids, and when they get out of Pop Warner, they wound up going to other high schools. But I always tell our kids that they're gonna call you nigger, they're gonna call you spear chucker and jungle bunny. I said, just laugh at them, ignore it. Just remember there's always the fifth quarter, and I'm not gonna tell you what that is. And of course, we had altercations after the ball game sometime, but it's always, the idea is always, fine, I'm a nigger, but look at the score. Marcus Allen made the conscious decision to stay in the community to attend high school. He had played as Pop Warner here, he had gone to elementary school here, and so he decided that he was gonna stay right here.
I think there's even people today that have lived in San Diego for years, 20, 30 years, don't know where Lincoln High School is. Don't have a clue where Southeast San Diego is, and not interested in knowing. There were kids that I grew up with, if it wasn't for football, would have never gone in other neighborhoods. Sports is very, very powerful. It did a lot more than just put a trophy on the mantle. I mean, it really gave us some pride and some dignity.
I heard from a friend that went to school with Marcus during the time, but she said he would come into class and he said, I don't know what you guys are gonna do, but I'm gonna be a professional ball player.
Well, he was like a man playing against boys, and that was in the 10th grade. And he single-handedly turned our football program around.
Yeah, well, the first year he played linebacker, and Marcus was a big kid. You know, he was bigger than most of the kids almost every year. He was like 6'1" or so when he got to high school.
I was a nasty guy when I played defensive back. Don't you ever, come in my territory. Don't you think about running a route in my area.
I couldn't play him in practice. When we, against our first team, I couldn't play Marcus. I mean, he was hurting our own kids.
I first saw him September night, first game of the year against Madison High at Mesa College, and we stopped counting after 30 tackles.
Marcus wanted to play defense. He really didn't want to play quarterback. And he and Coach Blair got into, differences of opinion.
Finally, he kicked me off the team. And so, I went to appeal to my father. And he says, well, hey, that's between you and him. I said, oh, gosh, man, my dad ain't gonna stick up for me, so I gotta go back and, sort of acquiesce, I go back and, okay, Coach, I apologize. Can I be reinstated? So he put me back in the team, and I had to play quarterback, and I guess the rest is history.
Marcus's final high school game was against Kearney for the city championship. On defense, he returned an interception 60 yards for a touchdown. As a quarterback, he rushed for 197 yards and scored 4 more times. A storybook finish to an unforgettable high school career.
I dedicated that game to my grandfather, who was ill, who meant like the world to me. That particular night, I couldn't have been stopped. It's just one of those nights where everything that you do is just right on. It was great. I got to tell you, one of the greatest moments in my life was when I was able to buy my parents a home and move them there. And my wife, Catherine, and I, we decorated the entire place. All I told my parents was just to bring your clothes, nothing else. And we blindfolded them. And we walked them in. I mean, we had the entire place lit up with candles. We all got together. My grandmother said something. Then my brother Harold said something. I said something. And it was just, oh, man, it was so moving. And I don't care what happens in your lifetime, you don't forget a moment like that.
Stay tuned for Troy Aikman when Before They Were Pros returns on TNT.
Coming up, football helmets are no match for an assassin's bullet. Gear up for Black Sunday next. And tomorrow night at 8, see Paul Newman as a lawyer who has to fight his way out of the gutter. Prepare for The Verdict on TNT.
This NFL special on TNT is brought to you by Motrin IB, prescription-proven power, and by Discover Card.
So how's your headache?
Well, it's gone. That was fast.
So the Tylenol I gave you worked, even on your really tough headache.
Tylenol worked great, even on my tough headache.
So you were wrong.
I was wrong.
More than aspirin, more than ibuprofen. For headaches, doctors recommend extra-strength Tylenol the most.
I like a guy who can admit he's wrong.
I'm wrong a lot.
So, you want to see my Discover Card statement? I am very, very prissy. What up or shut up? I love to be pampered. I go have my hair done. I love to go have my nails done, have pedicures, manicures. My biggest weakness would have to be shoes. Cashback bonus award really floats my boat.
How many credit cards make a statement like that?
I am definitely a shopaholic.
It pays to Discover. Use it where you see the Novus sign.
Wrangler jeans have always been worn by cowboys. But nowadays, even horses wear them. Wrangler. Real, comfortable jeans.
Wrangler, the perfect jean for your 10-year-old son. And your 10-year-old husband. Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans.
Sunday, get ready for the NFL's biggest games with the top team in football. NFL Preview. Get the inside story from Ron Meyer, Bob Golick, and Peter King on location from the big game of the week. Vince Cellini hosts NFL Preview, Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern on CNN.
Watch Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. Monday through Saturday at 7, exclusively on TNT.
Imagination. At Time Warner Cable, we know something about it. After all, we're part of Time Warner, the people who've been sparking imaginations for years. And now at Time Warner Cable, we're turning our imaginations into a new reality. The future. Time Warner Cable. Imagine what's next.
No games, no gimmicks, just rock bottom prices every day. That's what you'll find at Mattress Mistakes. How do we do it? Because we sell closeouts, mismatched, and discontinued mattress sets. That's how we do it. Hey, a sheet and a dust ruffle are your best friend. Plus, we carry name brand quality bedding like Springwall, the only mattress endorsed and recommended by the American Chiropractic Association. Come and see Tom and Rick at Mattress Mistakes today, on the corner of 401 South and Tryon Road. Don't make a mistake, buy one.
We now return to Troy Aikman and Before They Were Pros on TNT. Twilight falls gently on the Oklahoma plains. This is where the interstate stops and Main Street becomes a dirt road. This is Henrietta, population 6,000. Home to two famous cowboys, one a bronc rider, the other a quarterback.
It obviously, makes me feel very good that somebody, in your hometown thinks enough of you that they want to do something like that. For a guy who moved into Henrietta in 8th grade and wasn't born there and didn't live there relatively all that long, to be accepted like I was there in Henrietta is really remarkable.
Troy Aikman's story begins in Cerritos, California, where he was the youngest of 3 children. Troy and his sisters loved the sun. They loved the life, and they never wanted to live anywhere else.
Tammy, being the middle sister, was probably in the same boat as myself, and that's because Terry was just, she was kind of a ham, and she wanted all the attention. And if I think there's footage of her continuously, pushing everyone out of the way and getting her, silly face in the middle of the camera. And so it wasn't by choice that we became quiet and shy. It was more just, probably out of her necessity to be in the spotlight.
Yeah, we did what most kids do. We just, as kids, we just wrestled around and did a lot of fighting, and I beat them up.
Well, I think she got all the attention she needed when she was little, so she got past that stage.
Yeah, those wonderful old shots. We were really into sports, and I just enjoyed the lifestyle. We played sports year-round.
I was able to ride my bike to the park. I had kids my age, guys that I played ball with, whether it be football or baseball or basketball, and that's the thing that I enjoyed most as a child growing up there in California.
Oh, we were always close. We always played together, played outside together. He always wanted to go outside and play catch. He would just like bug you and say, play catch with me, please. And so we'd just play burnout, and we'd just throw as hard at each other as we could with this tennis ball, and he could do that for hours.
I came from a very athletic family, even though neither one of my parents played sports. I got a nice blend, I think, of my father and my mother. He used to always tell me that through hard work, you can accomplish anything that you want to, and he certainly worked hard. I've said it many times, probably pound for pound, the toughest man I've ever known. On the one hand, where my father is as tough an individual as I've known, my mother is probably as nice a person as I've ever known.
A lot of the people I've seen where the fathers are there, they get the kid, and that's all they talk about all the way home is, why did you do this? Why was this done? What was the coach thinking? And they carry it on. We never did that. I mean, when the game was over, we got in the car and talked about getting a pizza or something, and the game was over with.
Troy never wanted the game to be over, so he signed up with the Cerritos Suburban Hornets, where coaches like Rod Davis taught fundamentals and provided the young quarterback with attention and protection.
First time I ever broke a bone, I was 10 years old, I believe, and Rod was the one who took me to the hospital and made sure everything was okay before my parents got there, and I still stay in touch with those guys.
When I first saw him, he was 8 years old.
We kind of knew at that time even that he was that good.
Yeah.
Oh,
I knew he was that good.
A 9-year-old, you could throw the ball 30 yards without...
Shoot. He's still got the same release.
And he still has, what I like is when he goes back to throw the ball, he still has that little hop. He does. I mean, he did that when he was little.
But he's still, even under quarterback now, he looks like the same kid that was when we filmed him. He did play basketball and baseball. Excelled in both. We found out in the middle of the season, happened right in the middle of the season, that he wasn't going to be with us the following year.
My biggest disappointment was that we weren't going to get to see him play high school football.
That's it.
He really had a hard time going. He didn't want to leave California. We were real upset, and we wanted to keep him. We offered to, have him stay with us at our house, and many people offered. We asked, the mother if he could stay.
Oh, no. No, in fact, I think Terry wanted to stay with one of her friends, too. And I said, no, I don't think so. You can't keep tabs on them when they're across the country. So I said, no, we'll come here.
Troy's father had his own dream, to buy a ranch and raise cattle and hay while working on the Oklahoma pipeline. The family moved to Henrietta, a town so small its entire history is woven through the life of one man.
I came to Henrietta in 1910 from England. I was born in England. My dad was a coal miner, and he came here because we had coal mines here in Henrietta. But I married Janina Henry, Mr. Henry's youngest daughter. Here I came all the way from England to marry the girl whose father founded the town. I received no special privileges whatsoever. I was just another guy married another gal. I've never lived anywhere else.
Henrietta has changed very little with the passage of time. Traditions and attitudes are handed down one generation to the next.
We had been back there on vacation, and it was a real pretty town, just what you'd see in like the Andy Hardy movies. And Henrietta only has about 6,000 people. We had a little travel trailer, and we were building a home, trying to, have 5 people in this little travel trailer and building at the same time. And it was summer, and the kids didn't get to meet anybody.
We were accustomed to having kids living next to us. We'd run outside and play, and you couldn't do that when you're out in the country and no one for miles around. So that was more of an adjustment, and just the fact that we were so far from actual civilization.
I didn't know what dipping was or parking was, and I didn't fit in very well.
You know, I was pretty bitter and pretty resentful there for a little while because we were 7 miles outside of town on dirt roads, and conditions out there weren't conducive to playing ball. And from as far back as I can remember, I'd always dreamed of being a professional athlete. And I thought that my parents had just squelched any dreams that I had by moving to Oklahoma, and even more so moving out on a farm.
Oklahoma, it was more, wear a lot of makeup, more, what's the word I'm looking for? More,
Stop.
Foo-foo? Foo-foo. Good word. Much more foo-foo. And yeah, the hairspray and the curling iron and, you know, just more foo-foo. And at the time I was very much into sports and not foo-foo at all. I didn't get foo-foo till I got out of school. Now she's very foo-foo. Now I'm very foo-foo.
A lot of the boys were calling, saying there was this new guy and he was a really good ball player and he was a really nice guy, but he was cute. So the girls liked him right away. It was probably the first day of school when I saw him going down the hall. He kind of made a statement, new guy in town, and being from a small town, you notice the new people that come to school. So I thought he looked like a really nice guy and somebody I'd want to get to know.
He started dating my daughter, and when he was a freshman in high school. I've told Troy he ate $125,000 worth of steaks at my house, so he owes me. I credit myself with putting about the last 7 inches on him and about the last 100 pounds.
The new kid in town finally felt at home on the practice field at Henrietta High School.
You know, it seemed like I'd known my classmates. It seemed like I'd known them my whole life. It didn't take long at all for me to make the adjustment once class started and once I got back into athletics.
He was very tall, and he was going out with a very short little girl, and it was like Mutt and Jeff.
When we would have conversations, he'd let me know a little bit more of his inner feelings, where he really hid that from a lot of people. And I think that he shared with me more of his emotions and feelings about things. I always knew that Troy would to accomplish whatever he set out to do. He just had that drive about him. I just always knew he would be successful, and I always told him that.
Troy was a star for all seasons. Henrietta's own version of the natural.
Attaboy, Troy! He played all sports at his best. He swung a good bat. He hit a few out of here. He was against a good ball club from here, Seminole, and he struck out the first 13 hitters he faced. He had a good, natural, quick overhand release of the ball, whether he was throwing a baseball, basketball, or what.
And we were scrimmaging in a school named Savannah, and they had a big old kid that was a senior that was real tough, and he was taking it to old Troy pretty good. And so we had a little talk, and I questioned his manhood, and he went out and whooped him a senior that day and never looked back.
When the game was close, he seemed to have another gear he could kick back up into.
I think greatness just surrounded him, everything that he did.
He won the state championship in typing our senior year.
Troy, you rule. Bucko 5. See y'all later. Good night, y'all.
Troy was a big man in town, but back at the ranch, he was just Ken Eggman's boy with work to be done.
I guess that's the good thing about having a dad that's just really strict. You know, you don't cross that line. Fear of God, fear of dad.
The first time I saw Troy's dad, he's a tall, lean, rangy kind of build, and he had a cowboy hat on and a mustache, and I immediately thought of the Marlboro Man, just a rough, straight-shooting kind of guy, and he, I guess, was a workaholic, and he made Troy a workaholic too.
And you know, that was just a way of life. It was what was expected, and that I would be hauling hay all day long, and then get done just in time to go make the baseball game, and get home about 11 o'clock at night, and be right back out in the fields hauling hay with him, and you know, until 3, 4 in the morning. It was through that discipline, I think, that gave me the discipline as an athlete.
That discipline was tested playing for the Henrietta Hens. Number 10 was a skinny drop-back passer stuck in an offense from the past.
You know, who runs wing T? You know, we ran it. We ran it in Henrietta, and, you know, every now and then we'd drop back and throw it, and wing T, I think he's still running that wing T.
They were so small. The guys were so small.
You know, I was bigger than the linemen. I was bigger than my offensive linemen. The linemen were weighing about 145, 150 pounds.
And I still kid him to this day about it, the lookout block.
Remember that, don't you?
Look out.
Say, Troy, look out, here they come.
He claims that he's the one who developed my quick release because I had no choice because I had to get back there and get rid of the football.
We were marching down the field and Troy got mad. Of course, I'd get mad too if I got dumped every time I went back. But he threw the ball down and got a 15-yard penalty. And I yanked him out of the game and I grabbed him. I said, Troy, you got to be a leader. You can't do that. I said, if you don't like it, you can get out of here. He said, no, sir, I want to play football. And I said, that was kind of stupid on my part, wasn't it? You know, best player I ever seen. Yeah, it was kind of stupid. We were 0-8. We were wondering if we were going to win. We won the last 2 games and made the playoffs for the first time in 30 years.
2-8 going to state was our motto, and we thought we thought we were peaking at just the right time.
They always had the fans there, no matter whether they won or lost. It was a social event.
Well, there was a gal who got named queen, and the guy who was the king or whatever, really liked this girl, and so here's was this big chance, and then it just got a little bit out of control, and I don't know if they ever did put legislation on that thing or not, and just say, hey, let's calm this thing down somewhat. I just really had fun playing, and I think that's why I was maybe able to excel in high school, was because I just really enjoyed playing. You know, so many kids today don't get that chance to just have fun playing today.
That's when they found out that Troy Aikman could throw. That's when they found out that he could zip it and make it stick.
Watching Troy play was the most fun Jack Gibson had in 6 decades on the sidelines as the Hens PA announcer.
I'm the only announcer Henrietta ever had. I never missed a home game. 57 years.
He's such a special guy, and he's an icon for Henrietta football. And the thing that I think if you asked 100 people what they remember most about Jack, they would, all 100 would tell you, the way he opened up every game. And every game he would yell to the crowd, "Hello, everybody!" And
hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. They would respond, hello, Jack.
What I thought at first was a real disadvantage and something that was going to keep me from realizing my dreams. Looking back on it really allowed me to fulfill some of my dreams because it allowed me to take advantage of some of the things that are available in a small town.
Troy left Henrietta for stardom at Oklahoma U, UCLA, and Dallas. His 7-year relationship with Kathy Sheridan didn't survive the separation. Today, Troy's sisters are married, and his parents have an even larger ranch near Dallas. But his dad isn't talking.
In his thinking, he is not an athlete. That's Troy. That's Troy's world, and he's not familiar with it. Anybody that wants to talk to him is talking to him because of Troy, which he knows nothing about. They're not talking to him about what his cows are doing or how his hay is growing. And so if they want to talk about his cows and his hay, and that's fine. But if they want to talk about Troy's area, then that's Troy's area. And he just does not feel like he wants to get involved in that.
Downtown Henrietta seems pretty much the same, but the legend of Troy continues to grow. The Troy Aikman Fitness Center gets a fresh coat of paint each summer. And at the local McDonald's, you can visit the Troy Aikman Museum.
What we've done here is try to display the memorabilia that we have from him during the different time periods in his life. Starting out with Pee Wee football when he was in California before he moved here, and then during his high school days here. All the jerseys we have are authentic jerseys that he actually wore. Of course, the story behind the Super Bowl tickets here. It was in the championship game that he was knocked out, and then they asked him, where the Super Bowl was going to be, and he said Henrietta.
When I eventually get married and have kids, that I think raising a family in that type of atmosphere in a small town, I think there's a lot to be gained by that. It's home, and I would consider the possibilities of moving back at some point.
A life in professional football is an odyssey measured in miles as well as seasons. But for most players, a part of them never leaves their hometown. That's where their memory burns the brightest. Back where it all began, before they were pros.
This Thursday, Norville Barnes had an idea. His bosses thought it stunk, so they hired him. From the Oscar-winning team who brought you Fargo, see Tim Robbins and Paul Newman in The Hudsucker Proxy Thursday night at 8 on TNT. Now, brace yourself for an all-out blitz when terrorists take over the Super Bowl. See Robert Shaw and Bruce Dern in Black Sunday, next on the TNT Tuesday Night Movie.